Mercedes recently revealed a significant upgrade package for Silverstone, which they're calling their home track, and the race in which Wolff dubbed a win from the W14. If you think this is an unrealistic situation, wait until you see what Mercedes has planned for Silverstone, because it is something we never expected to see. Toto Wolff has revealed that another major upgrade will take place at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, indicating that Mercedes is finally figuring out how to make its car work in the current aerodynamic era. After nearly 18 months of struggle since the introduction of ground effect cars at the start of last year and developing their car in the wrong window, which is why a technical reshuffle was the only logical solution to be applied back in Brackley. Mercedes made the first part of their wholesale changes to the W14 concept, and their results have improved noticeably in the subsequent races as their car aligns more closely with their fellow frontrunners. As you can see, the result was seen in Monaco, where Mercedes unveiled a new front suspension, floor, and side pods, albeit at a circuit where it was difficult to tell if the direction taken was correct given the nature of the track. Well, when we're talking about the new upgrade, let's see why the car has performed the way it did in Austria. So one of the major reasons why the W14 has branded itself is inconsistency. More specifically, the car is behaving like a championship-winning car on one track and a midfielder on another. It is mostly due to the car's setup. Recently, Hamilton lost a lot of time in Austria and was penalized with 15 seconds of extra lap time at the end of the race because he struggled and failed to keep Norris's McLaren behind him. Mercedes is now in a much better position to compete for the remainder of the season. However, the Austrian GP has raised many concerns about the W14's pace and everything else. Mercedes' population decreased after Hamilton and Russell were once again the slowest cars compared to the top teams, with the exception of Stroll, who finished behind them. This is not what they expected from the W14 in terms of drivability, as Wolff had to ask Hamilton to drive the car because he knew it was bad but couldn't do anything about it. It's difficult to understand why Mercedes has struggled to keep up the pace in the last 2 years, but one thing is certain: after the Monaco Grand Prix and the leaked pictures of Red Bull's floor, James Allison has hinted at the possibility of borrowing some parts that could be crucial in reviving the W14. Regarding this, Mercedes team boss Wolff explained that the next batch of upgrades would involve a big one at Silverstone before a smaller one afterwards, and Chauvelin has now revealed his big upgrade to be a new front wing. Ferrari and Aston Martin have been among Mercedes' rivals to introduce new front wing concepts in recent races, and the Silver Arrows are joining them in doing so. However, Chauvelin acknowledged the quality of the battle they are currently enjoying in the top 4, which appeared to become a top 5 with McLaren having muscled their way into the contention in Austria and Lando Norris enjoying strong pace behind the wheel of his heavily updated MCL60. Mercedes has a chance to bounce back immediately at Silverstone, with both drivers buoyed by an expected home crowd. And trackside engineering director Andrew Chauvelin has confirmed another upgrade package will be added. He added, "It's a fantastic event that we're really looking forward to. We love going there because the team is based very close to the track. We have 2 British drivers, and the support is always absolutely phenomenal. We'll be bringing a new front wing to the cars, as well as upgrades to the cars." Obviously, this is just a saying. Mercedes expected to struggle, especially given how the car performed in previous 2 races in terms of handling in medium and high-speed corners, which turns 9 and 10 in Austria are. But with that in mind, we all know that catching up to Red Bull requires a lot of work, and they know this better than anyone. Because the complexity of the floor on Red Bull's car is where the Austrian team has gained an advantage when compared to the simplicity of Ferrari and Mercedes. It's not difficult to understand why Verstappen sets times nearly a second faster than his competitors, but don't worry. Mercedes is here to make things more interesting in 2023, at least from Silverstone. That is why they have brought this package. That is massively revolved around the car's floor because this is where the car loses most of the performance. Yes, the Brackley-based squad did bring a new version of the floor to Monaco with a new upgrade package, which was later used in Barcelona. One that turned out to be a little bad in terms of handling the car in low corners, but right now that's enough for them to be on a very competitive fight in P2 with Aston Martin, with Ferrari looking to join them soon. Now that the team has the right setup and foundation for developing the car, One can't help but wonder if this is enough of a foundation to have a championship-winning car soon. With more to come from the W14 in its current specification, and with Mercedes improving and exploiting it at each race, Wolff said, "We are understanding the simulations better. The time is correlating with what we are seeing on track. And that's been our problem over the last 3.5 years. They're now confident that if everything continues like this, then they're going to have a solid season ahead when talking about the upgrades." Wolff said, "We've seen good performance gains that are coming in the tunnel, and we are seeing a better understanding of what the car needs in order to go fast, what the setups need to look like. So, generally, the steps are getting bigger now. I think we're making good inroads. We are bringing a larger one to Silverstone. Then we should have another one before the shutdown." Wolff has admitted that the car's main weakness remains the rear end, but he is confident that this will be resolved. Well, every Formula One fan is excited to see what Mercedes has in store for Silverstone, and if there is one thing we'd like to see in the upcoming race, it's a win from a team other than Red Bull. If you think about it, Mercedes may be one of the teams with the best cars in terms of making life difficult for Red Bull. Furthermore, the new floor that they intend to introduce at Silverstone will be extensively tested in the wind tunnel in Brackley. Despite Mercedes' improvements, Red Bull continues to dominate at the top of the sport, having won every race so far this season. Last weekend, Ferrari was second fastest at the Red Bull Ring, but the Scuderia remains fourth in the constructor standings, while McLaren's own upgrade package propelled Lando Norris into contention. Chauvelin explained, "We are working very hard. We know that it is going to be very difficult to get anywhere close to Max in the Red Bull, but we've got a great fight going on at the moment with Ferrari, with Aston Martin, and it looks like McLaren have joined in that battle. So as I said, we're going to be working really hard to make sure we can get as much out of this package as we can, and hopefully, it'll be a great race for all the fans." Finally, I'll wrap this up. One thing is certain, we're in for a competitive weekend, and we're going to love it. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell for more content.